Hello my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Pursuit of Cabin Living series by 4Expedition. I'm Scott Luthold. Wow, I tell you, it's mid-November and it is supposed to be 61 degrees today. Incredible. It's allowed us to get a lot of really important things done and allowed me to be able to saw a lot of wood outside without having to worry about too much cold weather. It gets breezy, and when it gets breezy it does get cold. It has been dropping down into, I would say, the mid-teens lately, but it is just so beautiful here. I just can't even believe it. This is a very special episode, and it's probably not going to be as long as most of my other episodes, but I thought it was relevant to get it out to all of you. I've got a surprise for you. If you've been watching my channel for a number of years, you've been following my story, you probably will find this to be very interesting. And I'm not really going to share what it is, but you can go ahead and just watch and see for yourself. I really hope you enjoy this episode, so sit back and enjoy the ride. There's a mouse in the house. Actually, there's two mice in the house. Two mice in the house? Two mice in the house. I'm hunting webbits. Got to be very, very sneaky. We just flipped on a light because we heard a mouse, and we thought it was a cute little mouse, and it wasn't. It was a big mouse. Actually, it was a small cat. I've set some traps. There's one right there, and it's got cheese right on it. But the thing is, this mouse is big enough where he'd be able to bench press that thing right off of him.
Hey, honey.
Yeah?
Did you eat an apple in the middle of the night?
Did I eat an apple?
Yeah.
No.
Somebody did.
Oh, oh, that is a big mouth.
Look at that.
Holy cow. He's eating apples.
I wanted to eat that apple today.
Yeah, well, you just have to wash it off and cut that part off.
I mean, what do you think he did? Do you think he just like sat there and he picked it up and he ate it because he was so huge? Just, or he just...
I think he was bench pressing with it.
That thing was like...
I mean, that's... How many bites do you think that is? 2? It's like an alligator.
That's hilarious. I mean... Okay, it's kind of gross, but it's funny.
We're going to find this mouse. He's getting in our food. But, you know, you got to give him a break. We moved into his neighborhood. Now we're taking over. So we got to figure out how to kick him out of the neighborhood. Let's see if that'll even cover it. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Now I just have to screw them down. All right, well, today's November 8th. It's Heather's birthday, so we're going to head out to the Valle Vidal, which is a beautiful 100,000 acre preserve north of here along the Colorado border. We've heard great things about it. Never been out there before. We're going to go out there and do some hiking, so come along with us for the ride. All right, let's do this, huh? probably can go for miles and miles. Yeah, that's the same siding that we want to put on the bunkhouse right there. It's like a bark siding. Look at this awesome little place. Apparently you can stay out here. Nobody lives here. This is Valle Vidal. We wanted to make it all the way out here, and we did.
Welcome home, honey.
This is the horse stables. It's pretty crazy how much this looks like our cabin. Wow, look at that. Over there it opens up to a whole huge valley. Oh my goodness. So cool. Oh yeah, used to be a fireplace there. Oh. Look at that awesome door.
Like you said, though, these windows are magnificent. This door. Look at this door. Wow, that's so cool.
Oh. Wow, I want that fireplace. Incredible.
And the fact that it goes all the way up.
Yeah. Yep. It was probably built here before the cabin. Oh, here's the kitchen. Wow.
Oh my goodness, look at the windows.
Oh, look at that. Goes right into the back of the fireplace. That's a stove with burners. Wow. So cool.
Yeah, those are pretty.
Yeah, rain runoff. Yeah.
Does it have the moon
Come
on
on.
the door?
It's the real deal. So as we were hiking out here today to Valle Vidal, which is an absolutely beautiful part of northern New Mexico, we came across this couple at the trailhead, and they had mountain bikes, and they took off ahead of us, and then we hiked on foot all the way out here to this absolutely beautiful valley with this cabin that looks exactly like ours. It's pretty crazy. But when we got out here, they were here. We had got into a conversation with them, and it turns out they're from Pagosa Springs. Really nice retired couple. Revealed to us that they're in their early 70s, and told them a little bit about what we were doing, and they started sharing a little bit about their lives with us and talked about how they had in the past built their own log cabin in the mountains in the Sandias down by Albuquerque, and then eventually moved up to Pagosa Springs, and now they've recently sold that house. And they had been planning on buying, or they had bought, and they had been planning on renovating an old cabin there in Pagosa, and decided that maybe they were too old, or it was too late in life for them to do a renovation like this. And we started talking about what we were doing, and then we shared with the fact that my mom and stepdad, my mom's going to be 80 years old next year, and my stepdad is 93, and they just built another home. And my stepdad worked on the two-car garage. He helped build a screen porch on the property. He's going to build my mom a Japanese pagoda, and he built one of those for her at their last house just a couple of years ago. And then Heather shared that her dad Larry and his wife Cheryl are in the process of renovating a cabin in northern Michigan right now. And I don't know, how old's your dad?
70.
In his 70s.
70s.
In his early 70s. And he's doing all that kind of work as well. So we kind of encouraged them that they're not too old. And it was really interesting. We said our goodbyes and we exchanged our contact information. And as they were walking away, I heard the woman share and talk to her husband saying, you know, we ought to maybe reassess that and reconsider that. And I'm just hoping that they do, that what we shared with them inspires them to walk a new path and do that renovation. And they had no idea that I was planning on asking Heather to marry me out here. I didn't even know where I was going to do that. And then we happened upon this cabin that looks just like our cabin out here, and we're the only people out here right now. And we were just able to spend time out here and just totally enjoy it. And it just seemed right. And so I took Heather's hand and I said, it's time. It's time that I ask. And what a beautiful thing. What a beautiful day. It's Heather's birthday today, November 8th. We're out on this gorgeous hike. It's probably what? 60? It's probably 60 degrees. It's breezy. There's an amazing sunshine here. And we're probably sitting at about, I think we're probably hiking at around 7,000 or 8,000 feet in elevation. And we're down a dirt road about 10 miles from any pavement. It's just, what an extraordinary day, right?
Right.
Beautiful, beautiful day.
The best part though, like when you said it's time, and I'm like, it's time, and you said, I want you to adventure the rest of my life with me, or something along those lines.
Do you want to adventure with me the rest of your life? Something like that.
For the next 70 plus years.
70 plus years, that's right. Can you tell them about your mom? Yeah. So Heather's mom, Carol, was a wonderful woman, and she passed away at age
49.
At age 49. And my father passed away at age 56. So I don't have a dad, and she has a dad, and she doesn't have a mom, and I have a mom. Now we have step parents, and we love those parents very much, but it's just kind of a lot of symbolism there. And it just, you know, Heather's mom passed away on November 12th, and Heather's birthday is November 8th. And I think it always put a little bit of a shadow. It always put a little bit of a shadow on your birthday. And so I had decided that I needed to change that, and that I wanted to make November extra special. And in fact, I even thought about asking her to marry me on her mom's passing day on November 12th. And it just made sense to do it today. But in some way, I think we both feel like my father and her mother have conspired to bring us together. And her mother maybe dropped that ring. And maybe the woman who wore that ring at one time, maybe she's passed as well. And if she has, maybe they've all conspired to bring us together and create this sort of just an unbelievable, incredible relationship. Heather and I have both been around the block a few times, and we know what we want, we know what we don't want, and we are oftentimes we just see it as perfect mirrors of one another. Just truly, truly incredible. And so I can't imagine myself adventuring and spending my life with anyone else. And so that's what I decided to do, and she said yes.
I said yes.
I love you.
I love you.
So there you have it.
And it fits perfect.
All right, so as I mentioned, we're gonna make some mouse traps. And I was looking on YouTube and I found a cool idea. It doesn't really require that much. You have to get a couple of large cans. I got some peace tea, and since I don't drink peace tea, I just poured it out. I've got these tall cans. I've got one metal hanger. I've got my drill bits and my drill. And I got this bucket. And we're gonna make a little humane mouse trap where a mouse can come up here and they'll try to get on top of this little can, which will be inside here. And when they step down on it, it'll spin. And then they'll fall down inside the bucket and they'll sit in there until morning when I can look in there and see if I've got any critters. I'm gonna make 2 of these, as I mentioned, one for the RV and one for underneath the crawl. So let's get started. All right, so now that we've got 2 pieces here, I'll still have to straighten this one out. I use a pliers here to straighten this one out. We've got one hook on the end, which is going to be a thing that it's a stopper. So that stopper will stop it from going all the way through, and then I'll bend this end as well. All right, well, there you go. Really didn't take too much. I've heard that these things work. I needed a solution. I had this bucket here. I had the hanger. I just had to go out and buy a drink that had a long enough can on it for the mouse to be able to get out on there. And as you can see, it works just fine. Now I just got to build a ramp for it, and we'll give it a try tonight and see what happens. All right, we're going to take a little bit of peanut butter here. We're going to put it on all the way around this can. And I'm going to take a little piece of tape here and center this so that it doesn't necessarily slide from side to side. And we'll give it a try. So an interesting thing just happened. We were all closed up here. We were heading into town. We were going to go to the lumber yard, and we were going to get some, I guess just pine 1x8s. And I think they're going to be about, I think they're like 16 feet long. And we were heading into town, and we got a phone call from one of our beautiful neighbors. Her name's Bev, and she said she wanted to swing by and drop something off. And so we turned around and came home, and Bev and her husband Tom showed up, and then another great couple that we live right down the road from, Thomas and Cheryl, all really wonderful people. Anyway, Bev came by and she brought Heather a cake and a bouquet of flowers and some gifts for her birthday. And Thomas and Cheryl also had some gifts for her. It was really, really nice. But what's really interesting is on the way back from where I guess we had gone maybe 2 or 3 miles toward town, we turned around and came back. And one of the things that we had talked about in that very short period of time is the fact that we have all of this rough sawn lumber, and there's quite a bit of it here. Probably not enough to do shiplap interior in its entirety inside our addition, but there is enough here that we can do a great deal of it. And frankly, it's all been sitting here for a couple of months, so it's pretty dried out. It's not like it's still green. So if you can see down here, we've got 3 really long planks. These are I believe these are 1x10s. And I forget how long they are, maybe 10, 12 feet long. And we're going to now, instead, use these for our walls inside. And we're going to put them up there, rough sawn, plain, unpainted, unstained, and we're going to see how that looks. And then we may, if this doesn't grow on us, we're planning on painting it sort of a tan suede color. So we'll do that. But anyway, having Bev give us a call and having us come back home saved us a lot of money. In fact, it could have saved us maybe $1,000 to $2,000 by choosing to do this. And that was all in the moment. And when we were heading into town and Bev called and Heather said, "Oh yeah, we'll turn around and go home," I was like, "Oh, we were just heading into town." But look what happened. We had this wonderful time with these people, and then we saved ourselves a lot of money. Go over to that side. We'll stack them up here, and then I'll just grab one at a time to cut. All right, our first piece.
Come on in, I'll shut the door. You got it? Beautiful. And done.
Done.
Want the wood?
Well, we may have to cut this so that it stops on a stud.
How about that one?
See, that's cool, but we're gonna have to cut more off. Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Well, it's been getting dark pretty early. It's about 5:45 right now, and we're just trying to get a lot more done on one wall with some of this. And we're getting making pretty good progress. We got this really awesome LED light set up for one of our neighbors. Boy, I sure wish we had these LED lights back when we were doing the stonework at night. But we're making progress, and we think that we're going to have a decent amount of rough sawn pine here. Although we're going to probably have to go and get another order.
36.
Oh, take off an inch.
Pencil.
Trying to use as much as we can here. Here's the pencil. As you can see here, we've got this wall pretty far along. It's looking pretty good too. And put this piece right up there.
Hello.
Well, good morning, my friends. We did a lot of work last night on putting the interior wall finish in, and I'll show you that in a little bit. It was just too dark to show you last night, but this morning I'm going to cut a piece of OSB for in our closet. And in the back of the closet is the utility area where the washer and dryer is, and the on-demand, and also there's going to be a battery bank in there, a few other things. And underneath the floor there, as I've mentioned, I want to be able to pull up that floor pretty easily to get under the floor if I need to for anything. So I'm going to cut a piece of OSB for the far back area, and then we bought some peel and stick wood planks they're like a linoleum, and we're going to put that down just under the washer and dryer area. And the reason I'm putting OSB down is it's 3/4 inch thick. So once I lay that down, whatever I put up to it, whether it be finished wood planks like we did in the main cabin, or if it's carpeting or something, it will be about the same level. So I'm going to do that this morning. Once we get that done, then we can move the washer and dryer into that area and get it out of the bedroom, which is something we really want to be able to do. Not only just because it's just this gigantic elephant in the room, but also just because it gives us more room in the bedroom to start working on the walls and ceiling. All right, put 2 layers of OSB down. That each one's a 1/2 inch. That makes 1 inch. Put a little bit of this stuff on. We're gonna put this flooring down, and it's a peel and stick wood, I guess like a little wood plank. And we're gonna put that down over the top of this, And that should equal just about as much thickness as whatever we decide to put on the rest of this floor in the closet. Now, there's a possibility I might continue this stuff on for the rest of the closet, in which case I'll put more OSB down and put some more of this down. But we may do carpeting in the bedroom and continue that into the closet here, or we may do carpeting or wood in the bedroom from the hallway and extend the wood into here. We're not sure. However, it doesn't really matter. I've got this subfloor in here. We're going to put this stuff down. We'll put the washer and dryer in here. Either the washer and dryer is going to face this way or this way. We're not sure yet. It's plumbed to put the back over here. However, we'd prefer to put the back over here to be able to access the it's a stackable washer and dryer on this side. So that's what we're going to do now. I've never done something like this before. I use the skill saw to cut straight line here, and a straight line here, and a straight line here. And I left this uncut, and then I use this little jigsaw to slowly try to cut these curves. And we're gonna hopefully, when we go in, and we set this down in there, this is gonna be flush with the inside edge of the sink. So let's go see.
Careful, don't drop it.
Ta-da.
Ta-da!
Now,
Look at
it is
that.
not even remotely perfect on this edge. So this one looks pretty good. This one's pretty good. That's butted up pretty well. This one's a little gnarly. We'll have to take a file or something and try to work on this edge here just to clean up this top edge. We're going to probably sand this edge down anyway, so I'll work on rounding this a little bit better, and then, you know, it'll just be what it is.
It's gonna be beautiful, and then it'll be like nice like that. Good work, honey.
So because we don't have the right hole saw, we marked our size, and I'm using a smaller hole saw to drill to the edge of that circle. And then I'm going to use the jigsaw to follow this line around, and we should be all right. We're almost there.
Crikey. Maybe that's the last time you have to use a hole saw on these projects.
Yeah. I wish I had the right size hole saw, then we'd been done. And now we got to cut another. We use the jigsaw to cut through a pretty thick layer here.
It's gonna fit.
Boom! There you go. You like it?
I like
It's
it.
kind of low profile. It's kind of nice because it doesn't block your view.
Mm-hmm. It looks really good. Good job.
All right, so there's our farmhouse sink, our beautiful butcher block countertop, which isn't stained yet, and then our oil rubbed bronze faucet, which is got a, you can pull it out, it's retractable. I haven't tightened it down yet, but we like it a lot because, one, it's low to the sink, so it won't splash a lot of water. And then 2, it doesn't impede on our view out the window, which is really nice. Oakley's paying attention too. Say hello. Good.
Okay.
We have to turn it around.
So we're gonna put the back to the wall, right?
Right now we are, yeah, for now.
Okay.
1, 2. Oh, what's that? Oh, we're hitting that light bulb.
I can't go anywhere else. Look, I can watch you on the big screen. Nice.
Well, hello my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Pursuit of Cabin Living series by 4Expedition. I'm Scott Leuthold. Well, we're into November, and we've had a lot going on here. We got a lot done, and we are now living full-time in the cabin. And in fact, as you'll see later on in this video, we've winterized the RV. We're no longer using the RV. We're going to be cleaning that out and taking it down to Albuquerque in order to have some recall work done on it. It's a Mercedes-Benz chassis, a 2017,
must have touched
and
something.
there are a number of recalls that need to be done on it, so we're going to take it down there now that So we came out today and we just discovered there's a lot of smoke in the forest behind our place. And behind our property, there's another property, and then there's the state trust land, which is about a 9,000 plus acre piece of property. And I walked over here to see that there's a controlled burn happening right here. And that's way closer to my house than I ever like to see fire. I mean, I understand the idea of controlled burn. It is pretty windy out this time of the year, and there have been a lot of fire restrictions, so I'm not really sure why they feel it's necessary to do controlled burns now, this time of the year, when there's fire restrictions and there's high winds, as you can probably sense already from the wind blowing across my microphone here. I mean, the thing about controlled burns that I think is good is because behind our property, we're in a forest, and we're kind of in a little island of forest. And then there's a meadow that drops down. We call that the Valley of the Herd. We've talked about that before. And then behind the Valley of Herd, there's literally miles and miles and miles of basically just natural forest. And, you know, if that area ever decided it wanted to burn, at least we feel like we'd have some sort of a fire break here between us and our forest and that forest, because we have the Valley of the Herd. But, you know, they're burning off that valley and the tall grass, and ultimately that's probably better for us, so long as that fire doesn't kick up and cause anything more than a controlled burn. Well, now that the state is done burning their controlled burn on the state trust land behind our property, we're going to go out and take a look at it. This is the Valley of the Herd, where we've definitely caught some beautiful footage of herds of elk and other wildlife, and I'm interested to see how it looks out there now. I've heard that they burn out there once or twice a year, which is news to me. I didn't realize that, but we're going to go out and take a look at what it looks like now. So as we walk out here, you can see that this area here, which is within the neighborhood, has not been burned, of course, because it's not state trust land, but this is what it looks like on normal circumstances. And as we get back here to the state trust fence, you're going to see a lot different scene.
Wasn't us.
Wasn't us. And here we are coming up on the state trust property. So what's interesting to point out here is that this is the state trust property burned. This is the control break. And then right there, it goes into our neighborhood. Well, I guess one thing's for sure. They created an enormous fire break for our neighborhood. So now that this is out and didn't cause any unnecessary destruction, there's a huge break between our property and the 9,000 acre forest that's on the other side of this little valley. So I guess in some ways that's helpful, and I imagine, not really sure why they decided to burn this, because it's mostly just grass. It's not like they did a lot of slash in here. There wasn't a thick forest or anything like that. But I'm sure it'll grow back much more healthy. And if there were ever some kind of a forest fire across the valley here, we wouldn't really have to worry about it getting to our property. So all in all, probably not a big deal. It's part of routine, and I'm sure it's a part of the experience of living in the mountains. Forest fires are always an issue. Check this out. I would guess all these bones were here long before this fire happened, but look at there. Those are elk hooves. This is definitely an elk.
Where's the wreck?
Yeah. Doesn't look like there's a rack with it. There's more than one here. There's more over here. There's one over there. Wow, look at here. There's another hoof.
You can hardly tell what's sticks or what's bones.
Yeah. I should probably go on record and say that I'm not opposed to controlled burns, and I'm not opposed to forestry practices for maintaining and managing a forest. I think there have been a lot of restrictions in the past 50 years that have caused a lot of the forest to get overgrown and a lot of downfall, and a lot of that does need to be cleaned up. Otherwise, there is some major destruction when it comes to forest fires. And of course, showing you all these saplings here, that's another benefit to forest fires. It rejuvenates and enriches the soil. as long as it's not too hot of a scorch. And from that, you get a lot of saplings like these trees here. And of course, with the soils being more nutrient, you end up getting a healthier grass, more wildflowers, and a lot of those kinds of things. So I'm not saying that I'm completely opposed to controlled burns at all. I'm just a little curious as to why they would do a controlled burn on a piece of property that is completely cleared out and all it really has is tall grass and a sparsely populated grouping of trees. If somebody out there is watching this and you know a lot more about forestry practices than I do, I'd love to hear from you. Just put a comment down below and we could start a conversation on that. All right, my friends, I think that's it for this episode of the Pursuit of Cabin Living series by 4Expedition. I really hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed creating it. If you haven't become a subscriber to my channel, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button. Of course, be sure to hit that notification bell to be notified when videos go live. And if you consider yourself to be an adventurer and you're looking for an adventurer community, consider joining Team 4X by going to 4expedition.com/join to learn more. Until the next time, take care.